Hello and welcome to the Cat Collective. I'm Nina, I'm the channel for this channel, and let's start. Deep quiet, meditation and stillness. Okay. Perfect storm, the courage to step into life. And the empty well, time to replenish. Bottom of the deck is Drifter, experiencing life as it comes. Okay. It's the telepathy card. The third eye. Very spirit is there as well. Yeah, of course, with meditation. Oh yeah. Yeah, so what I really got is sadness. A sadness that you cannot explain. It's a really it just comes from nowhere and you don't know where it goes either. It's like I'm laughing now, right? Because there's something to it. So so the sadness, you know, it's like it could be really bothering you at this point, I think. Well, because you know, when you just have to cry out of nowhere, it's a bit weird, isn't it? If you don't really have a direct cause, you can only suspect it. Maybe you have, or maybe you are thinking about someone and crying a lot. Could be that you are doing this. Or maybe you are crying and you're wondering why this face pops up, the special face, right? And it's a mixed baggage, because I think you are still carrying something around within you that is unfulfilled. It's the courage to step into life. There's something that you are not living and that is really causing you sadness. You know, it's something unfulfilled that's, you know, it's within you with the spiral. Also here the spiral wants to look inside you, right? Really deep inside you. Deep inside you. And it could also be that you feel very the need to be quiet. This is a mixed thing. It's about, you know, on one hand you want to be open and do something. You know, 11:44. That's okay. You know, on one hand you want to be you want to not be quiet and do something and be out there and create, maybe. So, but on the other hand, I think you really feel the need to retreat and to disappear for a certain amount of time. It's this it's a creative phase, you know, when you retreat. Well, emotions and creativity, they do have a connection, right? It could be that you are trying to find some relief in going outwards, so you don't you don't feel the emotions that you are feeling, because if if this happens to you, if you're sad for specific reasons, and maybe when you think about someone specific all the time, maybe, you know, that's how we want to also distract us, right? When we go out and do something instead of just sitting in the energy that is presented to us, right? But it's also, you know, it's very distracting when you feel this. It's just because it seems to me that it's partially not yours. You know, with this 3 card, you know, 1, 2, 3, it's this is this yours? Is this about a relationship that you are just having thoughts about, or is it really from someone else? You know, it's this maybe you are really wondering where those emotions coming from, and the cards suggest that it's really a big part of it is not from you. You know, with this, there's a big part that it's not yours. You are, you know, picking up as a super empath someone else's tears, especially if you have a soul connection that goes a bit further. You know, that's when there's someone so close to you and you're picking up their sadness. It's on one hand, you know, it's this, oh, why do I have to do this thought? You know, it's this, why do I have to feel this? Because when you're feeling someone else's sadness, you're wondering why you do that. But if you think about this like that, that you are actually, time to replenish always indicates healing, that you are actually, by crying someone else's tears, also healing them, which is good, right? It's beautiful, right? If they maybe cannot cry, or are just a bit out of tears, you can cry them tears, which is beautiful. And they because of the connection, it's like the energy, you know, it's like this is you, and you are picking up their sadness, and you are the vessel and putting it outwards again. And when it's cried, it's healed, right? It's removed. And it's always also a somewhat healing for you when you do that. It's just tiring, right? It's tiring because this could make you feel, as I said, the need to retreat. You really want to seclude yourself and be alone and not do this anymore. On the other hand, you want to, but why would you do that? I think there's a reason why this is happening, and it could be that from a higher perspective, that you are also benefiting from this in a way that maybe it's a future love interest that you are crying tears for, and that you can only engage with once some heartbreak on their side has been worked through. And if you are helping with that, it is of course speeding up the process, right? But there's your life, you know, and since the cards are there, you know, it's, you know, that it's the opposite. It's the courage to step into life. So this means, you know, going outwards, being active, doing the things you know you want to do, versus the need for you to retreat and to just like be a hermit, right? So there's this mixture of energies around you. I guess it is about finding the balance, right? It's a very higher self energy. You know, this whole image is so so you, right? Your soul. The purple as well. There's so much energy around. Also in this card, you know, it's this also what I'm noticing, this is a raven, or what do you call it? And there are peacock feathers all around him. That's what I meant with you are crying somebody else's tears. And maybe you don't know it. Or you cannot... it's hard to really grasp this, you know. And also, you know, if this is someone, you know, if you're crying and you're thinking about this person, and maybe you're thinking about a different, you don't think, so maybe you know the source, but you don't know exactly why you are crying, because, well, maybe you can sense it, but maybe it's also because you think that you are crying because you are not with them, maybe even, when in fact is that you are crying because you are healing them. It's a confusion of the energies, right? With this, you know, and the mixture and the swirl and everything. So it's also very feminine energy of yours to, you know, to pick this up and things like that. So it feels to me that the feminine energy is healing the masculine energy in this, with this, you know. And it's hard to grasp this this concept in a way unless you have experienced it, you know. And or yeah, if you don't, it's hard to describe. But when you are crying so much that you don't know anymore where it's like where it's coming from and why, that's the reason. It just wants to point it out so you know that, because it might make you feel a little bit happier. There's still emotions, right? And hey, if you know, no one wants to really cry out emotions or, you know, have this mood when it's not even yours. You know, we are always already overwhelmed with our own baggage, right? And then suddenly you are crying somebody else's tears. But it only happens for a reason, as I said. If this is someone you will be in a relationship with in the future, of course it makes sense that you are already together in the spiritual sense, right? And therefore you are, of course, already involved. It's just that you don't see it in the 3D world, the manifestation of this, right? And maybe you know who this is, maybe you don't. Could also be with all the faces, you know, they all look the same. And it could be that you know, it's sometimes we sense it and sometimes we don't. But this is clearly someone who is very close to you in the spiritual world. And maybe you are a little bit angry also sometimes because you don't want that. You don't, you know, it's this, why do I have to do this, right? But it could be also that they are also doing something on their side that you don't know of, that what is benefiting you, but you don't know it. It could be, you know. I'm drawn to pull some more cards and see how it goes. It's just options and results. Energy and results. Okay, results. It's all about the end product that is coming out of this, right? Courage and commitment. Sentiment and joy. Look, there too. And they are not, yeah, they're together, right? But they are not, you know, snuggled up to each other. So they are close. That's this. I think that's, if you look at it from a higher perspective, that's how you look like. Maybe already in the spiritual, you are already really close. It's just that you are not close in the 3D just yet. I think you really wish you could shield yourself from this at times, right? With this triangle here, you know, and the crystal, and there's a lot of crystal energy, and that's always for me a healing energy, right? So crystal here. So if there's a destined connection that's meant to be to come together, of course you cannot really shield yourself from that. I think it's also, you know, with the sentiment and joy, it's a welcome connection, but it's still you know, it's a connection that you don't want to shield yourself from. The only problem I see right now for you is that you are crying someone else's tears, and also don't know how to sometimes differentiate. It's healing for you as well, so it's a double healing, right? Energy and results, and options and results. There are the crystals. 7 of them. This makes 7. So it's about results. So of course, it could be also that you think that they choose someone else, but they don't. Those tears, you know, it could be that you maybe have someone in mind, but you don't know. You have someone in mind, and you might not believe because they are so nice that they are for you, right? When we meet someone and this person is everything you ever wanted, right? And then you're crying their tears, and you're thinking that what you are crying is this feeling of course they wouldn't want me because they are so beautiful and you love them so much. But what you are actually doing, you know, it's this feeling of, oh, I will never have them. They have got all the options, you know, and therefore you are crying. That's why the both of the cards are coming up with this results in the end. So you think that this is the reason why you are crying, when in fact you are crying to give them energy, love energy, healing energy. It's not about options, it's about energy. Do you know what I mean? It's about healing trauma, but together. Maybe you are, yeah. Well, if this is your feminine energy that speaks through this, right? It's just enhancing it, you know. Maybe if you are more sensitive towards this, of course you are doing it and on behalf of them, which is a good thing. It's all in the end, of course. It doesn't matter why you are crying. All it matters is that the end result will be healing, right? So even if you think that this is the reason, with these options that, oh, you won't, they're so nice, you won't have them, right? It's just, they are so beautiful that you think you are not deserving someone like this, right? That's one thing that you think. Those are thoughts, right? But the underlying energy is really just healing. It's not about options or this, but it could be that this just triggers your sadness, right? It's those thoughts that make you consciously cry, but when in fact it is about healing. Maybe you think they are the healer, but you're also a healer, or maybe you're both healer. Maybe, that's the thing. When two empaths collide and come together, that could cause some issues, right? Because it's a cross healing, right? So I don't think that only you are doing this. I think that could be both of you. And that's intense, isn't it? It's like spiral. The spiral, it's like, with this well, there's all this spiraling energy there. I'm also noticing all the spirals on those cards, right? So here, and the crystals, of course, in the crystal cards, there are also spirals here on this tiger, right? And it's about strength, right? The tiger is always a strong card, right? Yeah, so it's definitely about healing and about magnifying, with the spiral. There's the spiral as well. Look at that. And telepathy, that's... So, it's... You might think it's empty, but it's not. It's this spiral, it's this fortifying of the energy, and it's creating a tunnel, or what else? This well, which is connected. It's like a tube, an energy tube that is then causing you to cry someone else's tears. And maybe even also it could go the other way around as well, that you are laughing out of nowhere. But this wouldn't mind you that this is not nothing that we would brace against, right? It's only this only the tears and only those emotions that are stirring us up, because usually we have the tendency to avoid them, right? And if you are getting thrown into them, and even if you think that they are negative self-talk or negative thoughts about yourself, and this is just a trigger, but the underlying energy is something that with the spirit is never as clearly and defined. It's this there's no outline here, right? So the energy underneath is something else. I just wanted to point that out with this mirroring, right? With the results here. It's all about healing. It could be, that's another thing. If you're experiencing this, it could discourage you from wanting to step into life. That's what I was picking up in the first place. It's this, I want to retreat and, live in a, like, I don't know, in a hole in the ground. But in reality, what you, if you know that, maybe it helps you to get the courage back, because if we are crying you know, it's just with this, the energy here, right? If we are crying somebody else's tears, then of course you cannot rely on your own sanity anymore, right? Because suddenly it just comes over you out of nothing, you know. And usually you might, you know, you just, I don't know, you just sit in the bus and suddenly you start crying, right? And nothing really happened. And you were never that emotional before. Maybe it's just a recent development for you, right? And suddenly it happens. And this makes us retreat because, of course, who wants to show emotions in public, right? That's something you do at home when the doors are closed. Kind of interesting also, you know, to think about this, how far this society has come. But it's a whole other story to talk about this. You know, it's when they say you when you laugh, you go in the basement to laugh. And this is a ridiculous thought, but the fact is that we actually go into the basement to cry. That's, you know, that's how far society, you know, it's like you're all of a sudden you are emotionally unstable and not reliable, or, you know, all the negative things, or just, you know, even, you know, when you are just feeling your emotions, right? Or somebody else's, which is even more intense, right? It's just a thought, you know, maybe this is something that is making you feel uncomfortable just because of how society thinks about people who are showing their emotions. Suddenly they are all about drama, when this is not the case. You are just healing people. They don't know, you know, people who are putting you into a drawer of being emotional or drama or something like that. It's not that you are, you know, going somewhere and yelling at people or something like that. No, it's a very private experience. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about this. Let's see if we have some more cards. Maybe one of those. If you find a word, it's for you. I'm also getting a bit quiet now, of course. I mean, healing is always nice. Like crying afterwards, it's a nice feeling, I think. It's a feeling of relief when you've worked through this. I think it's actually a very beautiful emotion or state to be in. It's very healing. Yeah, that's what it is. Confidence. Know and feel this affirmation beyond a doubt. I am all that I need to get what I want. 7-7. There we go. Oh, and there's the tiger again. Look at that. Yeah, so maybe this affected your confidence as well. Because if you cannot rely, I think that's fear. Yeah. If you want to be free of fears and phobias, then you have to understand why they exist and make peace with them. Well, that's what we did maybe for you right now, right? Maybe this caused you, this is just clearly showed that there's a confidence issue with this, right? Because if you cannot rely on your own sanity anymore, or you think you've lost it, then of course you are a bit weirded out and don't trust yourself anymore, right? Because it's so hard to work through those emotions. But look at that. I won't read the word, but you know, it's just becoming a master of this. Again, you know, of this big cat that is now with you. It could be that you haven't experienced that before, and now it's there. So therefore you have to just adjust and trust that this is not just, it's not, you know, there's more to it. Maybe this seems to me that this is also a skill or a gift that still needs more development, you know, because this looks like you know, those Japanese masters, that are, you know, teaching some sort of ancient special something, you know, and, you know, calming a huge cat that is as big as you. Well, there's something about it, right? So, yeah, it just wants to point that out, right? And give you some confidence back, because you know now that this is actually the case, that things like this occur, and this is not your imagination, and it's, you know, so just be aware of that. So let's see what this reading is for. Cancer. Okay. Yeah, Cancer. Well, they have got very, like, the zodiac sign is very emotional, right? So yeah, if you know, if you experience that, well, welcome to the club. Yeah, additional info is in the litter box below, and see you next time. Bye bye.